Today, I want to continue a series of messages entitled Get With It, and this will be part 2, Immature. As in Hebrews 5, verse 12 to 14 of the New King James Version, it says, For though by this time you ought to be teachers, you need someone to teach you again the first principles of the oracles of God. And you have come to need milk and not solid food. For everyone who partakes only of milk is unskilled in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. But solid food belongs to those who are of full age, that is, those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil. And mainly, I believe many people who claim to be Christians, including myself in a way, are immature. And I'm immature, and I'm growing, but I still believe that I'm immature. And with that being said, there's ways, there's ways to grow in that, and that's to, as Jesus did back in his day, to ask questions, and that. And I mentioned, I don't believe it was in the last message, but I mentioned in one of the messages that I eventually came to a place in my life where I ended up believing differently than I was taught. Because how I was being taught was different than what I believed. And actually, in my opinion, was different than was being preached. And it talks about that in Galatians 1, 6 through 10 of the New International Version. It says, I am astonished that you are so quickly deserting the one who called you to live in the grace of Christ and are turning to a different gospel, which is really no gospel at all. Evidently, some people are throwing you into confusion or trying to pervert the gospel of Christ. But even if we or an angel from heaven should preach a gospel other than the one the one we preach to you, let them be under God's curse. As we have already said, so now I say again, if anybody is preaching to you a gospel other than what is accepted, let them be under God's curse. Am I now trying to win the approval of human beings or of God? Or am I trying to please people? If I were still trying to please people, I would not be a servant of Christ. And with that being said, in a way, I believe that's what was happening. Mainly, in a way, what was being taught, you had to be this perfect person and that. But see, if that's the case, now hear me out. If that's the case, there's no reason for Jesus Christ. None whatsoever. Because you're this person perfectly. You don't need a Savior. You don't need a Savior. But we do need a Savior. And that Savior is Jesus Christ. But I believe that. And I was immature in that. And with that being said, I'm still, in a way, to an extent, an infant. And I'm still need milk, so to speak. So why are we so removed from the grace of Christ to another gospel? Because it makes sense to us. Satan tried to make sense just like he did with Adam and Eve in the beginning in the garden. And then it also talks about how Satan comes to steal and kill and destroy. But Christ came to give life and give it to the full, more abundantly to those. In the next couple of messages, I changed the way I'm gonna do the messages. The next one, I'm gonna entitle it "Get With It," Part 3, Cleanup, and then "Get With It," Part 4, Evaluation and Examination. As you know, how to get with it, okay, so we got to the part where we realized we were immature. We realized we were immature. We couldn't eat solid food, and now we were immature and not. And in a way, let me say this. The part about cleanup, I just learned this recently, and that in my own life, and that. So and it's when you see it and your eyes are opened. When you see it and your eyes are opened, it'll bless you so tremendously, because it'll clean so much of your life up. I mean, you'll be free. Just like I am. I've been becoming there's been so much freedom since I've saw this. And, I hope and pray that it does the same for you as well. So, but if you would like, you can prepare. If you would like, you can subscribe to my YouTube videos, which are also now these audio videos that you are listening to, and you can search Helping Others 140, no spaces whatsoever. You can't make any spaces, because if you do, it'll ruin it up and you'll never find it. If you would like to contact me, you can, if you receive this, if you end up getting this message, if you end up getting this video on Facebook, you can just message me there, or you can email me at helpingothers140@gmail.com. Thank you very much for listening to this, and may God bless you.